Hi, neighbors. I'm Dory Tyden. I'm running for Arizona State Representative for District 5. I just want to talk a little policy and discuss some possible impacts of two housing bills that were recently passed and voted on by our current appointed LD5 representatives. Arizona House Bills HB 2720 and HB 2721. These bills will drastically change the landscape and affordability of Phoenix neighborhoods, but probably not in the way that you might think. I think for some, these bills will help, but at the end of the day, these bills are bad policy band-aids to a serious affordable housing problem that we have here in Arizona and in Phoenix specifically. These bills, they were written in a way that encourages a process that opens it up for investors to unfairly compete with Arizonans who want to buy or rent homes. They're ultimately going to raise housing costs and decrease inventory. They were written more for tourism than they were for Arizona communities. So first, a little background on our housing market. A recent 2024 article in Entrepreneur Magazine states that 7 of the 10 most profitable short-term rental cities for hosts and investors are Arizona cities. I think we can all understand this. Arizona is a vacation destination, but also we have a lot of investors coming into the Arizona real estate market. Arrived Homes, for example. This is a Jeff Bezos-backed real estate investment company that buys homes and turns them into short-term rentals and vacation homes. They've already invested millions of dollars into the Arizona real estate market, and they aren't the only ones. As you can imagine, this is going to lead to more competition and less inventory for Arizonans. So not surprisingly, more than 25% of the Maricopa County housing market is owned by investors. This is a lot. A 2019 Harvard Business Review study states Airbnb alone is responsible for 20% of the average annual increase in US rents. That's only Airbnb. It does not include all the others. So why do I mention all this? I really do encourage everybody to read HB 2720 and HB 2721. There is a lot in them that does not bode well for our central communities and neighborhoods. But here's the gist. With this bad legislation, we have further commoditized our housing. The way these bills were written allow investors to have a field day, which, as I mentioned, will ultimately lead to increased rents and unfair competition for Arizona families who want to buy or rent homes. For example, HB 2720. This allows for the development of additional dwelling units, ADUs. This is the Casita bill. It does not provide any practical guidelines, funding, or enforcement for the city to ensure owner occupation. As a result, we could easily see many of our central neighborhoods turn into tiny hotel zones. This bill was written in a vacuum and provides no real guardrails for our neighborhoods. We know the large rental companies are already here and they're buying centrally located homes. They're squeezing out everyday Arizonans out of the market. This will accelerate the transformation of our communities into these tiny hotel zones, but without the regulation and without the oversight. HB 2721, let's look at that. This bill attempts to address housing supply and allows for increased housing density in our central neighborhoods. It does not, however, discriminate where duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes can be built. Any lot that is currently zoned a single-family residence within 1 mile of the central business district can be developed as a multi-story, multi-housing unit. And I might mention the city of Phoenix is currently expanding the central business district. So this encompasses a lot more of our Phoenix neighborhoods. Our historic neighborhoods could be very much impacted by this, such as FQ Story, Willow, Encanto, and others. As you can imagine, this will dramatically change the look, the feel, the culture of these historic areas. Instead of livable communities where we raise our families, we could have very large pockets of these tiny hotel zones in central Phoenix. Your neighbors on all sides could end up being large two-story multi-housing units and/or vacation rentals. And with the level of large investors flooding into Arizona's market, the odds for this are pretty high with the passage of these two bills. So my overall point, we are not solving our affordable housing crisis with these bills. We are industrializing it for investors and creating a Band-Aid. Arizona needs legislators who fight for Arizonans and know the difference between investor loophole policies and strong, sustainable housing reform for our communities. This is just one example of how bad legislation year over year has impeded the ability of everyday Arizonans to get ahead. If elected, I will ensure Arizonans are put first. You can get more information about me on my website at Dorri, DORRI, 4AZ.com. Thanks for listening.